the picture maybe help to maintain harmony. So a lot of devotees are just like, oh, my harmony is going out of tune, and they don't touch it again for years because it's a trick to bring it back to India to get it tuned. I tell the devotees in England, go to Bina Musical and they'll tune the harmony. There's a lot of Indians in England.
Is there, yeah, Bina can do it in England.
Please bring Boga with, or whoever's coming, she'd get on the phone and call Washington, and whoever would come would have to bring Boga. Even though he just doesn't have Boga to feed 100, 200 devotees. And it's not a problem for Nirvana to cater for that kind of crowd, but the problem is who's going to put the cash down on the table to front it.
Well, see, what the thing is, look.
So I'll front it.
Look, yeah, that's okay. Front it, but that's not front it. That's not what we want.
Yeah,
we want Ambarish or someone.
Right.
And just
I understand. Here's the cash.
Here's a donation because you guys are doing something good to help put Harinam Sankirtan
back in
back into the picture. And you should, and anyone, you yourself, call Ambarish or write
whatever,
to him, email him, whatever, and tell him that look, we're doing this thing, but all we need is a little help for free to do free prasadam distribution the way it used to be when Prabhupada was here. Of course, when Prabhupada was here, what do? We go out on the street and we collect money by either distributing books or passing out, incense sticks or whatever, and collect money and bring it back. And we always had enough to make a 15-course, Sunday feast at least once a week.
So
what's the difficulty?
Yeah, there isn't difficulty.
If there's anyone interested in the program, even grihastas who are coming to the program to be part of the Harinam Sankirtan team, let them go out on the streets or something and collect a little something.
Last year, someone paid for my ticket and gave a donation for the feast, and he said to me this. He said to the devotees this year that I can't afford to give anything because the business he's in is in the banking sector, and that's all going crazy because of whatever. So and I didn't feel comfortable to just put the pressure on the one guy anyway, but it gets, my point to them is that it gets spread out between whoever comes by them giving donations naturally.
Yeah, but how many?
Someone gives $1,
how much do you need?
Someone gives 200. Showers.
There's going to be 800 devotees there. How much is required?
It's all based on the menu.
Yeah, so that to make, what you have to have 3 square meals a day for people who are serious.
Friday's Ekadasi. I've told them that we should start it on Friday. Ekadasi, make it a 48-hour kirtan. Push it through Friday, Saturday.
I thought they
Sunday.
said Thursday was Ekadasi when you were asking about it.
13th?
Someone said Thursday was Ekadasi.
That was my question. Is it Thursday or Friday?
And they said Thursday.
Yeah, it wasn't confirmed. I was told it's Friday. Anyway, I still have to check. It'd be easier once I get to England because then I'll have proper internet and I can just call people through the internet and coordinate things properly. It's difficult to coordinate it sitting here.
The question
and that's the problem, that they're there, I'm sitting here, and they start making all these decisions, and it's like
how many?
They actually say you're sitting over there, so how are we supposed to?
How many devotees do you expect to come?
800.
Is that confirmed somehow?
Yeah, because all the accommodation that can be paid for, which means nice accommodations, was booked in February when the dates were announced. As soon as the dates were announced,
how many is that?
Everything booked up.
How many people are booking?
I need to get on a computer and get on the internet and get on Skype and speak to them.
Booked means what?
Confirmed.
Means that they're paying for it.
Yeah.
And then others are tent city.
Tents or the Brahmachari ashram floor, Brahmachari ashram floor, or back in your car, or local.
It's only 2 days a year, for God's sake. What's wrong with these people?
I don't have a problem with people crashing wherever they want to.
For 2 days a year.
But most people prefer to have nice accommodation.
That's okay. But
and it's like 4 bunks in a room, and there's maybe
how many?
I don't know. There's like 2. I don't know how many rooms. I don't actually know the figure that the guest lodge can hold.
But it's middle of the summer. It's, generally pleasant weather unless it rains.
It rained last time. Storm.
No, but so anyway, but then the question is for prasadam, how much do you need for that
Yeah.
2-day event?
That I
Not
need,
including the Sunday feast.
that I need to sit down with these guys and break it down.
No, how much for 800 people? How much do you need for one man? That's what I want to know. Then multiply it by 800, and you got an idea how much you have to ask Ambarish for, or
Yeah.
anybody for.
Yeah. Like in Jujuna Maharaj, he goes on tour, visits South Africa, different places, and he just hits key people. He shows them the Polish tour, shows them the Harinams, the festival, etc. And he just hits these key people that give him donations to keep the whole program funded.
So if anyone has money,
Yeah, that's
milk the Hindu cash cow, whatever you got to do, but but make it so that the prasadam, that it's a free festival.
yeah, that's totally
the way
my
the
whole-
original Hare Krishna festivals are supposed to be. Free festival, maybe accommodations you have to pay for, all right.
Obviously.
But otherwise, not that they're pressurizing, saying that you must pay for accommodation, but if you want good accommodation, you
Yeah.
pay for that,
No,
and
we have
otherwise
free
tent
accommodation.
city.
We have free accommodation, which is the ashram.
Either the ashram or set up your tents wherever.
Yeah, that's what we're saying. But
We have a sector where you can set up your tents.
yeah, and there's shower facilities and stuff. What?
And then free prasadam. It's
Right.
only a 2-day.
What New
event.
Vrindavan has, it has a.
Is it 2 or 3 days,
I'm gonna try and. It's a 3-day.
including
If we-
the Sunday
if
feast?
Yeah, Sunday, Saturday, and Sunday. If we start on Friday, then it will be a 3-day event, or 2.5-day event.
Friday evening.
Kick it
Starting.
off. We'll have to check the TTs when it's the most auspicious time and all that. Monday, Tuesday has the computer program. We actually calculate when's a good auspicious timing to inaugurate the
Well,
thing.
Abhijit is always.
But the management, one of their points is, again, that people don't mind having to pay for child. They understand. Mostly it's people who have jobs, who have children, who have, house and all that. For them to give, whatever.
Yeah, but it's a different atmosphere.
Yeah, I know, it's a completely different mood. Like the mood of Mayapur Festival was to charge devotees for everything, accommodation, prasadam, parikrama. The whole
Yeah.
Mayapur Festival just became about cash, which it still is, by the way. There's nothing that's changed about it except for they don't put the pressure on the pilgrims who've already had to bust their ass to buy the flights to come from wherever they've come from, and then to arrive in Mayapur and then to be asked to pay to be there. That's what pissed devotees off. And so Mayapur Festival flatlined in 1999. You remember, no one came here.
Mm.
There was like practically no Vrindavan Festival because no one really came, because no one went there. Then management, Bhakti Purushottam and Narugopal understood.
They started understanding.
So they go around milking the Hindu cow and also request devotees online on the website to sponsor prasadam and to sponsor events. And then they realized they could cash in more and make bigger profits doing that with the excuse of feeding devotees and sponsoring the Mayapur Festival.
Yeah, for free.
Then hitting people up.
Because
so they do the thing for free and then they cash in.
They want to say that people don't understand and they don't mind paying for prasadam. That's the pragmatic managerial conception.
Yeah, it's easy.
The real way is to understand that people understand the value, the spiritual value,
of the festival.
the spiritual value of distributing free prasad. If they're distributing free prasad, they get spiritual benefit by sponsoring that. So rather than having someone understanding, well, it costs money to eat, so therefore let me fork over my $2, for the prasad that I want to put in my belly. Because, after all, if I wasn't eating here, I'd be eating somewhere else and I had to be spending money. So
Right.
but that's not what it's all about. It's about free prasad
Yeah,
distribution to the Brahmins.
It's about the
Free
six
prasad distribution to
loving
the Vaishnavas.
exchanges
Yeah. Loving exchanges, exactly.
in Upadesha Murti.
Yes, exactly. And instead of trying to pragmatically adjust things according to how people, how they expect others to individually think about the cost, per plate of prasadam, so that they can add it up that way. they should just simply preach the principle. Preach the principle, and allow devotees who have some spiritual intelligence to understand that here's an event where that principle is in effect.
Besides just the Kirtan, which is, really up to the next level for at least America.
The mainstay.
Then there's free prasadam.
The free prasad, which which is the best gift. Giving and receiving gifts. The best gift is the holy name, but giving and receiving Mahaprasad is also one of the 6.
So to have a donation box at the end of the prasadam line, or to even have that as an option that people can give a donation, that there's no pressure to pay for prasadam, it's up to the individual. Is that still considered okay?
Well, it's
like I was
not.
managing the registration counter where it was like, if you wanted free prasadam, because they do have other things. They have a health food shop. They have a snack bar that cooks like samosas and pizzas, and
No, this is the way I would do it.
They have all kinds of things. Nuvranav in the temple has that.
Yeah.
Just like you go to Mayapur, you can go buy Mahaprasad. You can go to a restaurant.
So they can do all that anyway. If they want to pay for
free
prasadam,
you got to put a wristband on. And to get a wristband, you have to come and register.
No, you don't need that.
And to register, we just get people to put their email address down. So we have an email group of people.
What do you need that for?
That we can communicate with.
Yeah, but
and let them know what the festival is.
The wristband idea, I don't like this idea. That's the new world order kind of program.
Okay, well,
now, why don't you put a microchip in them so that you know where they are.
It's a piece of plastic that you can pull off.
No, the point is, listen.
So that devotee serving
forget it. Forget that idea. Forget that idea. You wait.
Okay.
Forget that idea. This is what you got to do. The proper way of doing it is that you distribute free prasad without any strings attached whatsoever to anyone. And you have, in the front of the temple or some notice boards or even announcements during Mangalarti or whatever, that anyone who wants to get the benefit, the spiritual benefit of helping to sponsor the free prasadam distribution.
They make announcements every morning.
Yeah.
And they announce the
names
of donors.
the people who are sponsoring it. Because then
you put like a thermometer and you show like total cost of prasadam and then like little red $1 donation by such and such.
No, you don't need to do that.
You remember seeing temples used to have those thermometers with colored in red where, we're getting closer to the target.
That's all, in everyone's face, this thing. But the real principle is that here's an event where, and our principle is to foster loving exchanges between the Vaishnavas to help rejuvenate and inspire the devotional community, ISKCON devotional community. This is our whole thing is to help revitalize, the ISKCON devotional community. To help,
maybe we can put
make people happy in Krishna consciousness.
We can type some of this up. And email the proposal plan. I was going to write them an email. I'll write it and then you can edit
all
it.
they have to do is simply, you can put your feelers out. You can touch bases with Ambarish. And there might be others who are also, willing.
What do we do when we have 2 coach loads of Guyanese Indian pilgrims or tourists coming to see the palace? Which happens. That happened the first year and the second year because it's on the weekend. You actually get tourists. Well, visitors.
How many people fit in a coach?
30, 40 people.
So only 80 people more.
And and they come in and
Give them
it's
the
like,
experience of what it's like.
and it's great. They come in and take a darshan and this you know kirtan and everything.
Give them free prasad.
And usually they go to the snack bar and it's like a source of income for the temple that they're buying samosas and stuff and buying stuff from the gift shop and it's kind of like helps maintain that money goes back into the temple and repairing the palace and like that. That's their deal. So then they'll be like, well, if they don't have a wristband, then they appoint it to the snack shop, snack bar. That was we had this discussion that
No,
for
but
the devotees
are they
identify,
coming up? You know, are they coming forward, thinking that there's a chance for them to get some free prasadam?
They're not even expecting anything besides to come and see a palace and a temple community, right? They're just outside tourists.
Yeah. So then why not give them the experience of what the Krishna
Free
conscious
prasad.
movement was all
Yeah,
about
no
and
problem.
giving them free prasadam
But
for the guests?
so then the managers of Jubilee is like, well, they're already paying this tour group to come and get on a coach. Why can't they just give a little because that's for them, of course, the way they think a little source of income
Yeah,
to
but-
maintain the temple.
All right, but how much do they make out of that? There's only 80 people on the bus, right? On 2 buses. So how much do they make? $150?
No, enough that
$300?
enough that 3 shops are open. Their gift
Well-
shop, their snack bar, and
Well,
their
gift shop is
health
another
food,
thing.
and their health food shop.
That's another thing. If they want health food, they can go to the health food shop. If they want snacks, they can go to the snack shop. But
Otherwise, we got our kitchen.
you know,
Anyway, the point that Rambadra's wife made to me when she was just here was that
pragmatism.
New York is famous for its prasadam. That they always like that. Why do they have Nanda Nandan there? Because Rambadra wants to keep the high standard of proper
But make
prasadam.
everybody pay for it.
I don't know if he's doing that on a daily basis.
What about the fact that New York was famous for its prasadam back during Prabhupada's time and no one had to pay for it?
Right. And then she said to me, and New Vrindavan's famous for
This
its
is Giridhar.
and New Vrindavan's famous for its khichdi and bad prasadam. And she said, yeah, we heard you had a good festival, but we also had prasadam. And the first year you didn't have the first year we didn't have
So then
prasadam.
why don't they come to the festival and make the prasadam New York famous, prasadam standard?
Well, that's because Nanda Nandan is not going to be there. He's coming back here.
That's stupid. And this is the 8 by
5.25. They're so slow and everything getting so casual.
That's why this is 8 point. That's why it was looking
Yes.
weird, because they've taken off a whole inch of the picture.
They shrunk it.
No,
It's
actually,
pretty stupid.
some part was not supposed to be there.
This
I
see
give
this
them-
this is the outside.